Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I go by the name of Caution, Mr. 700. Round of applause for myself as usual. You're now tuned into Allova Radio. This is the second installment of the Black's Excellence series, brought to you live from Smallz exclusive art studio. And not only are we in the studio, but we got the man himself, Mr. Christopher Smallz, aka Smallzdabarber. What's the deal, my brother?
What's happening with you, man? Pleasure to be here.
Listen, man. And so this episode is special because I think for those who don't know specifically, like a lot of this shit, especially with like the podcast and shit, like I kind of started a while back, but like Smallz was like really the person I was talking to as I was doing it, like the entire time. Like, we wasn't even in this building at the time. You know what I'm saying?
It was in the suite.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the suites over there off, what was that, off Lamar?
Yeah,
man. And so, it's super dope, bro, because, you know, you the person that really inspired me. And then even when you came to this building, for you to be like, hey, bro, I got a space back here. You know what I'm saying? If you can make something of it, nigga, like, do your thing type shit. But before we even get into that, man, let the people know who you are, what you do, you know, all of that good shit, man. Give them the good old-fashioned introduction to Smallz.
Hey, what it do? This is Smallz, your boy, you know, Chris Smallz. What is that one you call me? I get paid by it all.
Fact.
Hey, man, I'm just your entrepreneur, man. I'm just your entrepreneur. We out here, of course, my introduction into everything was the barber world, introduction into entrepreneurship. But man, pretty much I just see a vision, man, that we can all make it. We can all get to where we're going, you know, if we just help one another.
That's a fact.
I think I really love connecting people. I really love watching people grow, man. I really love, I think that's the humanitarian side of me.
Right.
That, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you the long way. So
that's a fact.
I'm going to extend every resource that I have for you. And that just me understanding that I kind of live by a concept that, you know, once you get over the wall, you know, it's your business, you know, to throw the rope back over, man.
That's important. That's important. Bro.
Even with that, you can't make a motherfucker climb the rope, but, you know, at least I threw it back over.
I didn't leave you. I didn't leave you without. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's my whole premise of life, man, just to inspire and to help each other, man, and to let's just, you know, live out our wildest dreams and our craziest imagination.
I think, you know what's dope, and I told you this story like a while back when we first started this shit. Like I had another person hit me about the same shit, like wanting to do the same kind of setup. You know, I pull up, set up, do my shit from there, you know, promote his spot, all that kind of shit. And this is when we had first started. And I think the nigga hit me with his price and tell me whatever he wanted. He like, you know, he was preaching the brotherhood, blah, 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 blah. I want to do this. He hit me with his cost or whatever. And it was a decent cost, but you know, he asked me what I was paying where I was at the time. And I was like, oh, that nigga ain't asked me for nothing.
Yeah.
And it just to see the person's reaction when I said it, and he said it, he was like, oh, I can't compete with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't even a matter of the money at the time. It was just because you saw how bad a nigga wanted it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was doing. Like, for anybody that don't know, when it come to all this podcast and shit, bro, like niggas didn't have nobody to start this and give us no guide or tell us how to do it or tell us how to set up or niggas just started doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like literally had a camera and started doing it. So I think for you to not only talk about the shit you just said, but to actually exemplify it and actually be doing it, bro, like that shit deserves a round of applause. And like when I tell people about you, every time somebody come in here, I tell them like, hey, that nigga looked out for me. So whatever it is he want for me, I got. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care what it is. But how'd you get into being a barber? Let's get to that. Like, has that just been something you always wanted to do?
Nah, man, hell no. Early on, I kind of seen myself a certain way, man. And throughout everything I did, man, I always kind of seen like this image of myself.
Right.
Going to work a certain way, dressing a certain type of way, being around a certain type of people, making certain type of moves. I just didn't know how it was gonna happen.
Right.
And pretty much, and they grew up poor.
Mm-hmm. I know the feeling.
So it started around 16, 17. We was living in. I'm from South Dallas, but we had moved to the cliff over there off of Ledbetter and Bonneview and Prince Hall.
Okay.
So I started cutting my own. And like I say, just because Nick couldn't afford it. So I just started cutting my own hair and kind of went from there, grew from there. I started cutting, my brothers and they kids and people in apartments. I think when it really got popping in apartments, we were living in an Oasis. Same little area, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so just got going there. And then even with that, just the example of barbers wasn't my vision of where I wanted to be. So I didn't really see myself.
Well, in your path.
Yeah, I didn't really see barbering taking me to the place where I wanted to be. So years, man, I say it was probably about a good 10 years I went searching for, different career paths. Man, I did some of everything.
All right.
All the selling oils, all the prepaid legals, all the insurance stuff, man. I did it all. You know what I'm saying? Just because I always was curious about entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? I always was curious about that. So
just doing shit yourself.
Just doing shit myself, man. Like even systems, I'm not good with systems. I didn't graduate high school. If you know me from high school, you didn't know me from actually being in high school. You actually know me from other shit, you know what I'm saying?
Being around.
Yeah, being around. So yeah, just not. So systems was never my thing, man. I either quit or got fired on every single solitary job I ever had. Man, what job? Doing security. I wanted to quit that. That was right before I started barbering, but I wanted to quit that job so goddamn bad. But I was working with a cat. He got a clothing brand, Fly Conic, Brandon Denson.
Okay.
He from Bonton. He from the South too. But anyway, we were working together. So we had to do rounds. And for some reason, I just didn't do mine. I went up there and went to sleep. So when the manager came down, called me half asleep, and he say, I know you do your rounds. Why you do your rounds? I'm like, shit, I was asleep. My boy Brandon bust out laughing, nigga. He bust out laughing, man. Later on that day, I got a call from HR. But by that time, I was barbering. I was up in Denton barbering, man, and the rest is history.
Right. So was this, and if you're watching this, I'm gonna give you a tour of the building on camera, man, so you can see what the facility looks like. It's essentially where we at when we doing this. But was this always the goal to get to a point like this, to where you are right now, or was it just like I'm gonna do it and make my bread and still push my other entrepreneurial areas, or was it like having your own, like the actual goal the whole time? Barbering
always been. I always wanted it to be a tool to catapult me.
Gotcha.
To other stuff.
Gotcha.
Now, far as owning a shop and this whole creation, it didn't come until later.
Right.
Actually, all during barber school, I was telling Cat, man, I ain't gonna own no shop, man. I ain't gonna be in the shop all day long. Like everything I said I wasn't gonna do, I end up doing it.
But we don't know shit.
We don't know a damn thing. Everything I said I was gonna do, I end up doing it, man. And it just, I learned to, you gotta kind of let life flow.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You can't really just be all, just fix on a certain way your life should go, man, because it's gonna frustrate the shit out you.
Facts. Every step of the way.
So to answer your question, no, man, I didn't see. Like I said, growing early on, I seen a certain image, but I didn't know how I was gonna get there.
Right.
And I definitely didn't think barbering was gonna get me there. So if a nigga, I wasn't that nigga that grew up. Yeah, I'm gonna be a barber. I wasn't that nigga. It's just the cards that was dealt to me, man. It just, I never fucked up a head. So it's kind of like,
that's a fact.
It kind of like just.
That's a fact. That's a big deal too, though.
Kind of like came easy. It came easy and it clicked. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what we got to look out for too. Just shit that just click for you. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that you can do without the least amount of effort that people still praise you for. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. That's looking at some of that. Deal. That's a big deal. So describe what the motivation was for this spot, because if you ever been here, then you know it's not like the typical barber setup. Like everything's happened here. There's been multiple events. There's been listening sessions. There's been, all kind of shit. Women events. You know what I'm saying? Women empowerment shit. All that kind of shit. So talk about like what was the motivation with this spot? Because this isn't how it looked when you got here. So it wasn't set up this way. Like what caused you to like have it set up the way you have it set up to make it an art studio as opposed to just your typical barbershop?
Okay. Man, when I got here, well, first of all, even opening a place, I had one guy who I think I told the story before. I had one guy who came to me with it, and he had some money, so I'm like, bet, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat capital and, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
At all.
For some reason, he bagged out, and it was just something in me. Once the ball got rolling, and once I started looking for spots, man, I couldn't just like not do it. You know what I'm saying? And the number one reason for me doing it is because I wanted to show people that it's possible. I wanted to show my family that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Even our last name, Smallz, I envisioned something great. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't so much that it was a move that was made for me. It was a motivation move for people that was around me. Right. Because at that point, I had been preaching something that I was afraid to do myself. You know what I'm saying? I had been preaching, jumping out there, you know what I'm saying, getting your shit going, whatever it is you can do, you can just do it. I had been preaching that shit, you know what I'm saying? And I knew that, of course, with the right amount of pressure applied to anything gonna work. That's if motherfucker want to know the key to the success, that's it. Like, dude, if you got an idea, apply that pressure to it. Like, just be relentless on it. Believe in yourself. Be relentless every day. Talk about your shit. Wear your shit. Treat your shit like it's Gucci. Treat your shit like it's Louis Vuitton. Treat your shit like it's Fendi. Like, be proud of that. Like, I see a lot of motherfuckers who got clothing brand but don't really wear their shit.
Like, who else is supposed to know you got this?
Yeah, like, that shit is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own. But yeah, man, it was a motivational thing, man. I wanted to do something for my inner circle, for people that was around me, for people that was, you know what I'm saying, my family, you know what I'm saying, that talked about entrepreneurship, that talked about ideas and shit. I wanted to do it to show them, like, this shit is possible. You can really be your own person and live out through your abilities, man, and grow from there.
Right. Now, I do know, for those who don't, you know what I'm saying, you're one of I would say you're a new school barber, right? Technique-wise, new school transition. Like, I still kind of on the line, right there in the middle, because you still, you one of those guys that's good with a razor, and that's an old school tactic. You know what I'm saying? But you still got all the up to date shit and shit like that. Talk about some of the, like, what it took to get to the point that you are now, because like my father's a barber, but my father's a very old school barber. You know what I'm saying? Like, he not into the lineup being super straight, and you know what I'm saying? Like, they give you the natural line and they don't, it's straight. But talk about the techniques of barbering that you learned up along the way, and what's different now than maybe 10 years ago, and as far as skill wise in barbering, because there's a lot of different shit if you look at like the tutorials online and all that shit, like kind of what your approach is to it and what kind of keeps, because you got a lot of return customers as well. So
I love it all, man. I love it all. I've been fortunate enough to see, you know, the change, and fortunate enough to, you know, I love young people, man. I love folks younger than me for some reason, man. Like, I don't know. It just
that's what keep us alive.
Yeah, man. I love young niggas, man. Young barbers. And that's with music too, man. I like the new music too, because I think we all had our era. And if you want to stay relevant and you want to, you know, if you love what you're doing, then you want to stay relevant in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think technique wise, I would talk about a lot of old school barbers. Let me see my instructor. Angel Walker was my instructor. Dooney, a lot of people know Dooney the barber. He was my instructor. He got a barber school out here too. Y'all check that out. If you're up and coming barber, look up Dooney. I believe it's Barber Academy.
Gotcha.
Look up Dooney, you'll see it. And yeah, man. And so they was old school. You know what I'm saying? They had a lot of old school. It wasn't enhancements and stuff. So, you know, they really, you know, to make a line crispy, you really had to put in some work. Your clippers really had to be on point. You know what I'm saying? Like me. Zero gap all your shit. It give a much cleaner look. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I do. Zero gap everything. And it really hone in on the craft. You know what I'm saying? Like, take pride in, you know, before the enhancement look. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people hair grow different on one side, and you got to really get in that bitch and dance with the, you know, with a clipper, man. Open, no guard. You got to really get in that bitch dance, clip over cone. You got to really get in that hoe and do your thing.
That clip over cone,
it just really perfect like that touch. You know what I'm saying? Like that soft touch, and you know what I'm saying? Even if it's just one hair right there, knowing how to like, I got that touch, nigga. I ain't got to, you know, just hit at that motherfucker, you know, and just honing in on the craft, loving the craft. You know what I'm saying? And at the flip side of it, with the new shit, man, embrace it. Like these nigga era, man. Hey, listen, man, don't nobody want a regular ass haircut no more, man. I'm sorry, man, motherfuckers.
And I think it be with the technology. Niggas be scared to get with new technology when it comes to that shit. But it's dope. I think it's dope when you see it, because you can see, even like, I see a lot of the clippers, like the shit that people promote online and shit like that they use. And I know niggas promote brands, but I'm like, shit, a lot of that shit be fly as fuck though. So like, why can't you?
I'm cordless, man. I'm totally cordless.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going with the times, man. It's moving on. Like, yeah, we had an era, and yeah, it's certain shit you don't want to do or whatever, man. But like, this shit is fun, man. This shit is an art. This shit is a craft.
You doing what you love to do?
Yeah. And I don't think it's so much of me cutting hair that I love. I think it's so much of staying connected with people, man, pouring off into people that I love. You know what I'm saying? And embracing the relationships, and man, just watching a cat that go through college. Now he got a family, you know what I'm saying? Like how he grow as a man, and you know what I'm saying? And not only that, man, I'm not scared to learn, bro. Like I'm in a position where I just believe like I'm a student of life. So whatever life has to teach me, then shit, I'm willing to learn.
I'm accepting of it.
I can sit and listen to it. I'm 37. I can sit and listen to a motherfucker that's 27 years old, because he got a different perspective. We didn't come up in the same era, but his perspective is his perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that shit, this young man got something to say. You know what I'm saying? So I listen. I think that's important. Yeah, man. Listen, bro. Man. Listen.
And how long you been a barber?
Motherfucker would think it's been a while, man. I want to say, man, Honestly, if we do when I first picked up a clipper type shit.
Right. Professionally.
Yeah. So after going through school and shit?
Yeah. Let's say there.
We're going to be like 10, 12 years.
Like 10 or 12?
Mm-hmm.
If you wasn't a barber, what would you be doing?
I'd be a musician, man.
Gotcha.
That's my other love, but I kind of put that down. Yeah, man. I love the music, man.
What was your instrument of choice?
Man, that keys, man. Them keys.
Round of applause for that.
Them keys, man.
It's a certain kind of person to touch them keys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You grew up in a church?
Yeah.
So is that where the musical part come from?
That's exactly where the musical part come from, man. Like I said, man, I done lived a life, man. I done tried it all.
All right.
Man, shit. In the pursuit of this shit, man, I done sold drugs. I done robbed motherfuckers. I done praised God, shouted to God, cried to God, lived for God, been in the church, man.
What was your biggest influence with trying to change from who you were to who you are now? Because there's always a pivoting point, you know what I'm saying?
The pivoting point was for me because, man, I grew up fucked up. Like, I knew we were poor. I knew, nigga, this was not how life was supposed to be.
Right.
But you feel like you forced. You feel like you stuck in a situation. The pivotal point for me, first of all, when I just found the courage to leave. You know, found the courage to leave, you know what I'm saying? Just and go to different places, you know what I'm saying? Like all over Dallas, you know, just go to different places, man. I always had like a wandering spirit, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Just, you know,
So you wasn't good with being complacent where you were?
Nah. Like, I can't deal with consistency too long, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Like, I know consistency is a key to life and we gotta have consistency and certain shit, but like, me as a person, like routine, especially if it's not getting in me to where I think it should get me, then it becomes my name. But man, to answer your question, the pivotal point that was really changing to me, I'm not gonna lie, man, probably around 30, when I just really quit giving a fuck.
All right.
Like, you just really quit giving a fuck. Like, I don't care what you think about me. I don't give a damn. Right. I don't care how you feel. I just not giving a fuck. Just really accepting who you are as a person. And then, you know, it's gonna be some shit that you see that's like, damn, that is kind of fucked up about me. It's gonna be some shit that you love, but loving yourself with all that shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? And not really caring about nothing but how you grow, how you maneuver, and, you know, once that happens, everything around you gonna grow. Right. Like, as you grow as a person. So I think, like, once you let go of control, and, you know, for so long we be trying to, you know what I'm saying? But once you let go of control, man, and you really just start fucking with you, that's the pivotal point. That was my pivotal point. Right. You know what I'm saying? When I just really started fucking with Smallz, when I started fucking with Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So talk about some of the things that you got in the works, man. Like, what are some of your plans going forward with what you've already established? Like, what is this? Not necessarily what's the end game, because I feel like as long as you're alive, that always changes. Yeah. But what do you foresee is on the horizon for you, and like, what do you have planned going forward to take this even to the next level? Oh man,
to take it to the next level, man. Barber school is the next step. Barber school is in the near future. That's just my passion. Doing more teaching. You know, more one-on-ones. Really driving into the game with that just because I love the craft, man.
Right.
And just to teach it would be phenomenal to me. That'll be the ultimate, like, I don't know, just to give back. I'm just, like I said, I'm just a humanitarian.
Right, and so to get to the point where you at and then want to actually turn around and teach somebody else. Yeah, that's love. That's love.
Not only that, a couple of more ideas, man. I love seeing people have a good time, so definitely a spot is in the working. You know what I'm saying? With the my wife contend with the event planning and just throwing events. You know what I'm saying? So D-Events, look that up. You know what I'm saying? For all your event purpose, all your event needs.
Fact. Shout her out.
You know what I'm saying? So we're working on that. We working on we got the clothing, Smallz, exclusive line, the clothing, the apparel. Man, there's a lot of shit in the workings. It's Go Time, another podcast with me and my partner.
Man, for real.
So be looking out for that. A lot of shit, man. A lot of shit. Looking and doing more investing.
Right.
Man, one thing they ain't making no more is property, man. So y'all get your shit together, get your credit where it need to be, man. Invest in you some property, invest in you some land. Most definitely get that shit jumping.
Right, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, man, definitely appreciate the opportunity to sit down. Won't be the last, of course, but I think we had to go ahead and get some on wax, man, to let people know what was going on currently with everything.
Yeah.
And it's always good to get an update, see where the business is, see how you doing, see you still flourishing. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
Niggas say the beard's still healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The
all
beard's
that kind of
still
shit. That's, if a nigga beard start fading, that's when you know something. Hey, bro, was everything good? You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, definitely appreciate it. And again, definitely appreciate you, my brother. You definitely exemplify Black excellence.
Man.
Not only just from you talking about it, but you actually being a man of your word and, you know, getting to it like others talk about doing but don't do. So shout out to you, my brother, and everything you got going on. Many more blessings. And whenever you see me, you see that nigga, man. You see where we at. You see what we doing.
Man, it was a beautiful connection, man.
Man, everything happened for a reason, man. And
So.
This situation for me is definitely a prime realization to that. So, Allova Media, Smallz Exclusive Art Studio, Smallzdabarber, Caution, Mr. 700. Y'all have a good one.
Bet that.